Hello, guys. I hope you're having an amazing day today. If not, I hope it gets better. But today, I'm going to be ranking every single legend in Apex Legends on a scale from best to worst. Stick around to hear my reasoning. And without further ado, let's get started. So, this is how it's going to work. I'm going to rank every legend based off of their abilities first, and then at the end we total it up. Let's just say number one gets 18 points. There are 18 legends in the game. If you're number one, you get 18 points. If you get number one in everything, you just get 54 points. That's a perfect A, and that means you're the best legend in the game. You're number one in both passive, tactical, and ultimate. So that's how it's going to work. And at the end, we total them up and we see who's the best legend in the game. And so, yeah, that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, starting off with passive. Let's go from bottom to the top. The worst passive in the game, coming in at number 18, is Pathfinder. Pathfinder by far has the most useless tactical in the game. You scan a survey beacon, and sure, it gives you your ult, but his ult's not really that useful, but this is about the passive, not the ultimate. But it gives his ultimate. Everything that revolves around Pathfinder's passive revolves around his ultimate, which isn't even that good, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, Pathfinder has the worst passive in the entire game. On to number 17, we have Fuse. Now, I get it. Fuse's ability to hold multiple grenades and arc stars, not to forget thermites, but I don't use thermites. But anyways, his ability to have more inventory space and to use them, you're probably going to relish them if you use a lot of thermites or arc stars in battle. But if you don't, you probably hate them. Enough said. Number 16, we have Watson. Watson's passive is she gets her ultimate fully charged whenever she uses an ultimate accelerant. No matter what, it could be at 1%, 2%, it could be at 0%. That thing just gets charged up, ready to go as soon as you use one ultimate accelerant. As a side ability, she has the ability to slowly regenerate shields. And when I say slowly, I mean really slowly. If your shields got completely destroyed in the fight and you lived, you would probably get lit up by another squad early game before your shields have even charged to 1 bar. That's how slow it is. It's completely useless. No one ever uses Watson's for her passive. Once again, she basically only revolves around her ultimate. So, yeah, kind of useless. Up at your number 15 spot, we have Mirage. Mirage's passive, which is to go invisible when reviving teammates or using respawn beacons, it's good. It can be good in some scenarios, but what really brings him down on this 15 list is his revive. Mirage's revive, while it does buy you maybe 0.5 seconds of time, anyone wearing a headset will immediately know exactly where you are. And even if they don't, they'll just shoot at the ground or see the big blue, I'm not going to say balls, but the big blue, spots on his arm that are still there whenever he reses. So Mirage's passive, it can be useful, but overall it's not that great. Up at your number 14 spot, you have Crypto. You have Crypto. I have Crypto. Who has Crypto? Where is he? Where is that little sucker? I can't find him anywhere. He's probably camping on his drone. So. Crypto's passive is the ability to scan the whole team for your squad whenever they're in range of your drone. Once again, this requires his drone, but I'm going to just overlook that. I'm not going to talk about the drone. Let's just talk about his passive, all right? Passive, not that good. For one, if you are in your drone and you're scanning a team and you're fighting with, and your team's fighting them, you better get off your drone and go fight with them, because if you're off in your drone while your team's fighting another team, you need to stop playing crypto and pick someone else. Like your number 13 pick, Rampart. Rampart's passive is shut up, Flood. But anyways, Rampart's passive is that she reloads all LMGs faster than anyone else in the game. So you got the Rampage, reloads fast. You got the L-Star, she reloads that faster too. Did I say Rampage? I think I said Rampage. Spitfire, Devotion. There's probably some more that I'm forgetting, but you get the idea. But yeah, that's basically her whole thing right there. So on to number 12. At your number 12 spot, we have Loba. Now I get it. Loba's ability to see through bins and basically halfway across the map to see what good loot is across the map. That's pretty good. You might want to have a Loba on your team for that exact reason. But it's not that Loba's bad. Loba's passive is actually pretty good. She's outshined by other legends passive. Speaking of other legends, let's move on to our number 11 spot. At your number 11 spot, we have Caustic. Caustic's passive is the ability to see through his gas. And I'm going to tell you, this is completely underrated ability. It's around the middle, number 11. That's a pretty good spot. It's on the lower end of the spectrum, but that's fine. But you have not known the amount of times when you're going up against a Caustic, or you have a Caustic on your team and you're fighting in the gas and you just cannot see a single thing in the gas. Caustic's ability negates that, so you see crystal clear through the gas, and yeah, pretty underrated passive. At your number 10 spot, we have Wraith. Wraith's passive is pretty good, I'd say, but it only really applies to snipers. Most of the time, it's pretty obvious. Like, you'll be running at someone and, oh my god, there's someone aiming at me. Thanks, Wraith, for that useful information. Thank you. At your number 9 spot, we have Revenant. Revenant's passive is the ability to crouch walk faster and more silently, and the ability to The ability to climb probably 10 times as tall as the normal legend. So obviously that's a huge bonus, and not really much else to say. Moving on. At the number 8 spot, we have Lifeline. Lifeline's old passive used to be there'd be this indestructible revive shield that you'd get whenever you started reviving. But they removed that and replaced it with her now current passive, which is you'll be able to revive players completely. Like, you don't have to be there. The drone will revive them. So just walk over there, hit the X button, defend them for 3 seconds, boom, they're up. I don't think a lot of people think this ultimate is really good, but in arenas and a little bit less in Battle Royale, it just completely dominates. So it's at number 8, but it's completely topped out by the number 7 spot, Gibraltar. Gibraltar's passive is his gun shield, which immediately adds 50% to your shield whenever you're aiming down the sights, which is pretty good, but he's a thick chungus. But big hitbox, big gun shield. Moving on. Number 6, we have Bloodhound. Bloodhound's passive is he's going to see your footprints, doors opening, everything you do if you've been in the area for more than 90 seconds. If you visited an area, even if you just walked around for the last 90 seconds, Bloodhound will know you've been there. So, gotta say, pretty useful, especially when you're trying to make sure an area is cleared. And time to move on. Number 5, we have Seer. Now, this is a bit controversial, but the reason I put Seer above Bloodhound is that Seer just, like, you can just see all around you. It's a lot more universal than Bloodhound, who actually has to be up close to see the tracks. So that's Seer's passive. Hear the heartbeats of everyone around. And on to our next one. Number 4, we have Valkyrie. Valkyrie's passive is the VTOL Jets. Basically, you're able to fly. Maybe up, sometimes sideways, usually get lasered, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, fly around, don't get shot. That's Valkyrie. Okay, cracking the top 3, we have Horizon. Horizon passive basically mitigates all fall damage paralysis. So when you jump off a building and you fall from a long height, let's say bonsai towers, you hit the ground and you can't sprint or move for, I'd say, at least a second. And that can be really detrimental to everyone except Horizon, because she's got some sort of quantum super califragilistic technology in her suit that makes her somehow not able to die by fall damage, and somehow every legend has that ability without a suit. How's that work? But anyways, that's Horizon for you. At the number 2 spot, we have Bangalore. Bangalore's passive is the ability to run, I'd say, 30 to 40% faster whenever people are shooting in her general area, which is really good whenever you're engaging in close range fights and just need an extra boost of speed to strafe just a little bit faster to win that fight. So yeah, Bangalore's pretty good in that area. Moving on to our number 1 spot. At the number 1 spot with a perfect 18-point lead, we have Octane and his ability Swift Mend, which basically means he heals health like insanely quickly. You'll be healing health quickly with this thing and you'll be able to see it. It is honestly ridiculously fast and overpowered, which perfectly complements his tactical, which we'll get into later. But yeah, Octane gets number 1 spot for passives.